Welcome back. Well, with us right now from Third, their board treasurer, we have Steve Parsons. Good to see you.
Welcome.
Nice to have you today. And we have our Director of Maintenance and Operations, Mr. Ernesto Munoz. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you, too.
We're going to talk about, primarily what we're going to talk about today is the waistline remediation program, which has actually been going on for a while. And if people don't quite know what that is, they may be familiar with the fact that people, when they talk about this, they talk about this epoxy lining that goes in and basically lines these older pipes. Now, as you both know, that has been done in the past for like what I would call inside the walls of the manors. However, now you're looking at the actual cast in place, the pipes that are coming into the manors, something that a while ago they didn't think they could do because they thought the epoxy lining would shrink the orifice too much. Am I right? Did I kind of get that right?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So essentially the program, and this is prevalent throughout the community, we have 50-year-old systems here, and most of us don't really think about those lines. We flush and stuff goes away. We don't have to worry about it. But with infrastructure that's over 50 years old, we're essentially looking at pipes that are now experiencing some problems. So we have essentially 4 different pipes that service our community. One of them is a galvanized pipe, which is primarily to vent the system.
Okay.
And those are the ones that you see sticking through the roof. We also have clay pipes, and those clay pipes actually service from the manor out to the main line out on the street.
Okay.
Those lines are, all of these pipes, by the way, are very durable, but over 50 years old, they begin to experience deterioration. We also have ABS pipes, which are plastic pipes, and I'm sure you've seen those. And we have cast iron pipes. So they all have different levels of deterioration. Cast iron pipes rust, and they split dimensionally.
Yes, they do, yeah.
And the plastic pipes are also susceptible to movement on the foundations and the buildings, so they do crack as well. The clay pipes are susceptible to root intrusion. So these pipes, we need to have a program, and we have a program both in Third and United to address these pipes. And Third, of course, is about $750,000 program. And we have a technology that's a fairly new technology that allows us to actually remedy these problems without much intrusion to the structure. Some of these pipes are in the walls, some of them are under the slabs. So there's 2 options. One, we break out the slab, we rip out the walls, and we repair the pipes. Or we have this technology now that we can go through there, we can clean the pipes, we can TV them, we put a camera through there to see what their condition is, and then we clean them up, and then we push an epoxy liner through them that essentially creates a pipe within the pipe that will have a duration of, as long as the original duration of the pipe. So it's an excellent technology.
As far as pushing this epoxy system through, can it be done on all the different pipes? Obviously the vent pipes, you don't need to worry about that, but both the clay and the cast iron pipes, that can be done?
Yes, it can be done in all the pipes. And traditionally the problematic pipes were the ones from the buildings to the main sewer lines.
Right.
And they were what we call vitrified clay pipes. They're essentially clay pipes. Because of the root intrusion, that's where your blockage were.
Yeah.
But now with a 50-year-old infrastructure, we're experiencing problems with the pipes in the interior of the manors as well. And these are your cast iron and your ABS pipes, your plastic pipes. So this company is unique in that they've developed a technology that allows them to line these pipes for very small diameters, which are the diameters that you commonly find inside a manor. So they go from like a 4 inch to all the way to a 2-inch line. So what's unique about it is that they allow us to do the work inside and outside the manor. So only we disrupt the resident ones to get the whole thing completed.
Okay. Now, is the epoxy shot in there and then it expands? Is that how
Actually,
that
we
works?
pull it. We
Okay.
have we run a cable through the line.
Oh, okay.
And then we hook the liner with on one end, and then we pull the cable through, and then that moves the entire lining through it. Then we inflate that lining, and we allow it to cure, and it becomes essentially a pipe within the pipe. You reduce the diameter of the existing pipe, but you increase the flow capacity because it's a very smooth, like
Right,
plastic
exactly.
pipe. Yeah, so it's a fantastic technology, and like I said, we don't have to rip out walls and foundations, so it's really the way to go.
Well, Steve, let me ask you about this. Obviously, there's huge benefits because once you put this in, you've got something that's going to last 25, 30, 50 years.
50 years.
So although there might be that initial big cost, in the long run, it's going to serve the mutuals very well, right?
Oh yes, and it'll save us considerable time and energy. You know, as he said about maintenance, it'll last a long time. But the main reason we wanted to be on today is to alert people that this program has been funded recently, and we are really going to hit the ground running with it. And so we felt that the people needed to know who are going to be affected, actually what's happening, and be prepared for it. And as the contract was let in the last 2 weeks, we're going to be hitting it pretty hard through the rest of the year. Okay. And I might mention it's going to be continuing on past this year also. But that's why I wanted Ernesto here, so he could explain things and also talk about how people are going to be notified, what inconvenience it might be for them, and things like that.
Okay. Now, I know, as I said earlier in the past, the inside, the copper piping inside the walls of the manor, I know a lot of those have been done. Are you just looking at the waistline pipes right now? This part of the project
Right.
anyway?
Yeah, this program is just to address waistlines.
Okay. All right.
So, and as Steve alluded, we're going to have a pretty intense notification process. We're going to go and notify the residents personally, door to door, when we're getting ready to do the work. But prior to that, 2 to 3 weeks earlier, we're going to send out flyers. We're going to do e-blasts. We're going to make sure that everybody's notified. But when the process starts, actually when they're going to be impacted, we'll be in there and talking to everyone in their manors, knocking on their doors, so that they know exactly what to expect. The interruption to their service will be probably 1 to 2 days, but intermittent, and they'll be allowed to still use their fixtures. You know, they just need to communicate with the contractor.
Okay.
But they will have their fixtures available to them, and it should take 1 to 2 days. However, the work actually takes a couple weeks because the contractor needs to go out there, needs to evaluate the building, see what the accessibility is, TV the lines, make sure that they understand what their condition is. So the process starts about 2 to 3 weeks, but the impact to the resident is 1 to 2 days.
Okay.
And like I said, it's intermittent, so they're not going to be without their fixtures for any long period of time.
Okay, let me ask you along with that, is it, with these manors, is it one master waistline for several manors that all funnel into one? Or if there's a building that has 6 manors, is it 6 waistlines coming out?
It's essentially 6 laterals that come in
and then go into
and go into a main lateral, which essentially goes out to the street.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you pump this in, it'll branch off to all of them, or it's just that main lateral that comes out?
It depends what needs to be relined.
Okay.
And what's unique about this program is it's a proactive and a reactive program.
Right.
It's reactive in the sense that we're going to address the manors that are having problems, and we have a list of those.
Okay.
So we'll be going to those and addressing that particular manor, but at the same time, we're going to line everything around that manor. So if we're in a cul-de-sac, and we're working on a building, we're going to take care of the other buildings as we're there. So that's the proactive portion of the program.
Okay.
So so we'll make sure that we address, because eventually it's gonna be needed. So we need to have a proactive component to it.
All right. So Steve, is the goal here to do, obviously do the buildings that need it first, but then is the goal 2-3 years down the line to have everything done, so you don't have to worry about it again or coming back?
It'll be a continuing program until we're finished.
Okay, so it'll take a few years, obviously.
Yeah, the main thing is, like Ernesto said, there's a lot of leaks, there's cracking in pipes, things like that need to be taken care of.
Yeah.
So we got to do those first. And as the contractor's here, they may be diverted from one place to another just based on need.
That's true. This is a remarkable system. I mean, something, I don't know how long this has been around, but it hasn't been that long, right?
It hasn't really been that long, and the technology to actually line very small diameter pipes is fairly new. And NewFlow, the company that we've contracted with, they actually developed that technology, so they hold a patent on it.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was wise for us to go with them, because anyone else that we would have contracted, they would have had to use their technology and
That's
mark
true.
that up. So it's a good deal for us to be able to move with them, and they're the leading edge on this type of technology.
Yeah,
So.
that's fantastic. Thank you very much for coming on. Steve, always
Okay.
good to see you. Anything else you'd like to add going on in Third?
Just that the company has a great reputation, and they've actually done federal buildings in Washington, D.C.
Wow.
So they aren't brand new to this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They've been developing it. So we feel very confident that they'll do a great job for us.
Fantastic. Very good. Ernesto,
Very
as
good.
always,
Ken,
good to see you,
good to
sir.
see you too.
We will be right back.